सन 1903 हवाई जहाज के इन्वेंशन ने बदल दिया दुनिया के आने जाने का तरीका। 2022 वेदांतु लॉन्चेस AI लाइव और ये बदलने वाला है दुनिया के सीखने का तरीका। इंटरैक्टिव क्लासेस, टॉप टीचर्स, सिर्फ 5,000 रुपए सालाना।
Today's chemistry session. I hope that each one of you is doing fantastically fine. Today we are doing the one shot revision session of chapter number 1, chemical reactions and equations. So I want all of you to stay till the very end in the session. If in case you haven't done this chapter yet, you are at the right place. Okay, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss on any of the sessions of Prodigy, as well as some tips and tricks, the best practices for your class 10th board examinations. Okay, do that. And who am I? I am your chemistry master teacher, Shilpi here at Vedantu. So I'm sure that you all are excited to revise the chapter chemical reactions and equations quickly. So if I talk about the rough weightage of the chapter, it is asked for roughly around 4 to 5 marks in the final board examination. Okay, so let's get started now without wasting any time with the very first topic. And what is that? That is about the types of changes. So the name of the chapter is chemical reactions and equations. So where are we exactly getting the term chemical reaction? What is that? In order to understand that, we will be looking at the types of changes around us that you also do in your class 7th, the physical and the chemical changes. So physical changes are those changes, the name is indicating there would be the change in physical property of the substance. Like only the state is going to change, the composition, the chemical composition is not going to change. So we simply can say that in physical changes, no new substances are going to be formed. No new substances will be formed. Okay, but when I say chemical change, there would be the change in chemical composition of the substance. Okay, so if the chemical composition is changing, that means new substances are going to be formed. Generally, physical changes are reversible. Not all of them, but generally they are reversible. For example, boiling. If you are boiling water, liquid is converted to vapors. On heating, if you cool those vapors down, then they will give you the liquid back again. Okay, condensation. So this is a reversible change, but yeah, not always. If you shred a paper, you cannot get the paper back. If you break a plate, you won't get it back. But yeah, some of the changes that you see, but chemical changes are irreversible in nature. Like once they are done, you can't reverse them. Some common example: melting, boiling, sublimation, evaporation, all these physical changes, you don't get any new substances there. Okay, when you are tearing paper, you are shredding the paper, so you're not changing the chemical constituent, you are chopping the vegetables. But when you cook the vegetables, that becomes a chemical change. Okay, your food gets rotten. Why? Because that is oxidized. Food is oxidized and there is a chemical change that happens. Digestion is taking place, photosynthesis, then respiration. All of them are, you can see, accompanied by the formation of a new substance. Like when you are burning something, combustion taking place in the presence of oxygen, isn't it, giving rise to a new substance. Rusting is there. So you know, on the surface of iron there is this formation of brown colored layer, that is nothing but rust, has a complete new composition. So these are some of the changes, physical and chemical, around us. And the chemical changes where we can see there is a formation of new substance, they give rise to the chemical reactions. So how do we define chemical reactions? They are simply chemical changes where we can see the formation of a new substance. Okay, so what are chemical changes? What are chemical reactions? The chemical changes where we get the new substances. Okay, now for the chemical reaction, again there is another approach that you can define. Chemical reaction is simply the rearrangement of atoms. Okay, some bonds are being broken, some bonds are being formed, so the rearrangement of atoms keeps on happening. And how do we represent a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction needs to be represented, isn't it? Like you are having a name that is representing you. When you see a political party, the political party has a symbol that is representing it. Similarly, chemical reactions are represented by the chemical equations, and there are a lot of ways of writing those chemical equations. The one of them you can see is a word equation. Right, what is the one common form? That is a word equation where you are spelling the name of the element or compound completely. Okay, you are writing their chemical name. Like sodium reacts with chlorine to give sodium chloride. So you are spelling the chemical simply, you can see the name, isn't it? Yeah, sodium plus chlorine. So plus chlorine, these are the reactant, the substances that you write on left hand side of the reaction, they are known as reactants. And the one you write on the left hand side, like you can, sorry, I always have a confusion in left and right. So I was saying those substances that you take at the start of the reaction. Okay, basically you can see the old ones which come on the left hand side, they are the reactants. Okay, the new substances which are formed on the right hand side, so they are the new one, they are known as the product. Okay, so this is simply a word equation. You are spelling the name out, okay, writing it completely. But let's say word equation is very inconvenient, that is visible also, it's very time consuming. We don't prefer to write the name of the element and compound, isn't it? So a better way is to use the symbols there, isn't it? So we can see sodium can be represented by a symbol Na. Then we can write chlorine के लिए Cl2, it's a diatomic gas leading to the formation of sodium chloride, let's say NaCl only. Okay, so when we replace the name, the chemical name with the chemical symbol, or you can say formula of the compound, that will be a skeletal equation. Okay, what is that? Skeletal equation. And usually it is not balanced, so it is sort of, you can say, a rough equation that you are writing. Okay, so it's like, okay, I am simply, you know, taking less of your time. Skeletal equation, so you replace the name with the symbols. Okay, so now the skeletal equation is unbalanced most of the time, so we have to balance it also. And we have the third type of equation, that is a balanced chemical equation. Okay, so when do we say a chemical equation is balanced, beta? When the number of atoms of each element are same on both the sides. Right, number of atoms of each element are same on both the sides. Like you can say, if we have 4 phosphorus on the left hand side, if I balance this equation by writing 4 here, I will get 4 phosphorus on the लेफ्ट एंड राइट दोनों में 4 हो जाएगा, है ना. लाइक आई हैव 10 ऑक्सीजन कमिंग फ्रॉम हेयर and 1 oxygen coming from the water, that means 11 oxygen over here, and here we can see 16, so we need to balance it. Okay, so you have to make sure that it's equal on both the sides, right? So if you write 6 over here, I will tell you how to balance an equation. Right now I'm just showing you that what is a balanced chemical equation when number of atoms of each element are same on both the sides. Like here 4 phosphorus, 4 phosphorus. Okay, 10 plus 6, 16 oxygen atoms on the left, 4 multiplied by 4, 16 on the right. Okay, 6 multiplied by 2, 12 hydrogen on the left, 4 multiplied by 3, 12 on the right. So that will be your balanced equation. Okay, now why do we need to balance the equation? Why? So that we can satisfy the law of conservation of mass. Okay, you know that this law was given by Antoine Lavoisier, and the law says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction, isn't it? So it's like, when is it possible? When can mass be conserved in the reaction? If atoms are same on both the sides. If atoms are balanced, the mass will automatically be balanced. So we have to what? We have to learn this practice of balancing the equations. Right? We have to understand how to we balance the equations. For this, Shilpi ma'am is giving you some of the tips. There is one common method that you see in your NCERT textbook also, that is the hit and trial method. Any number hits your mind and you simply try to balance the equation. Okay, so simply write the unbalanced equation first, count the number of atoms on each side, and then try to add the coefficients. Okay, coefficient has to be added in such a way that you always write the simplest whole number, or rather you can say smallest whole number coefficient. Okay, smallest whole number you have to add. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Never change the subscript, because that will change the entire composition of the formula. Okay, some of the tips that you will follow there is to start balancing with the metals first. Okay, first of all we always have to balance the metals and then go balance the non-metals. Okay, non-metals apart from oxygen and hydrogen. In the end we have to balance hydrogen and then oxygen. Why? Because they appear a lot number of time in the equation. So remember, any element which appears maximum number of times in the equation, that should be balanced in the end. Okay, otherwise it will keep on disturbing your reaction. So you're like, okay, you are coming a lot number of time, I will always balance you in the end. So try to balance this equation. ऐसे वो वाला भी करना, the one which I had given you back. Okay, so देखो, I am taking iron oxide, I add carbon into it. This is a very important reaction that you use in metallurgy. Okay, so carbon is going to displace iron. Iron is like, okay, tata, bye bye, I'm going, and we would be getting carbon dioxide. Okay, so do you guys remember reactivity series? Write that in the comment section. Please stop calling me a cute zebra. You guys remember? Yes, please. देखो, याद रख लो उसे. It will help you a lot. Please stop calling me a cute for carbon, zebra. I like her calling me, and so on. Smart girl. Okay, so you can see it is a decreasing order of reactivity. Please stop calling me a cute zebra. So carbon is on the top as compared to iron. Please stop calling me a cute zebra. I like her, and so on. I for iron. So you can see carbon is going to be more reactive, iron is less reactive, so it can displace carbon easily. Carbon which is more reactive can displace iron easily. Okay, this is what happens here. Carbon combines with oxygen, gives CO2, and we are left behind with iron. Okay, so if you see over this, in this reaction, if we try to balance, we will start from the metals first. If you see iron balance karte hai, chalo, on the right we will add 2 as a coefficient. Carbon 1 1 already balanced. Now in the end, let's balance oxygen. You can see we have 3 oxygen atoms on the left and 2 on the right. So whenever you have this odd even number, 3 on the left and right mein you have 2. When you have odd even number, then multiply them with each other. Like 3 will be multiplied with 2 and 2 will be multiplied with 3. Okay, that's what you have to do. So 3 के आगे I'll use the coefficient 2 and here 2 के आगे I'll use 3. So it would become 6 oxygen atoms on both the sides. Okay, so 3 carbon. Now I can see iron is again disturbed. 2 multiplied by 2, 4 iron on the left. I will make this coefficient 4 on the right also. है ना? Now in the end 3 carbon on right, let's make it 3. So this way we can simply balance it, है ना? कर सकते हो, not difficult. And on the same note, try to balance this equation also. If I write P4O10 combines with water and gives me phosphoric acid, how are you going to balance it? Okay, so do let me know your answers in the comment section. So you simply know, first we balance the metals, then non-metals other than oxygen and hydrogen, then in the end hydrogen oxygen. In this reaction there is no metal, उसके बाद another non-metal is phosphorus. So see, try to balance phosphorus, है ना? phosphorus का देखो यहाँ पर 4 phosphorus and I will make 4 on the right also. Okay, so once you have changed phosphorus, now it's up to you, you go to hydrogen. 4 multiplied by 3, 12 hydrogen on the right. How can we make 12 on the left? If I multiply it by a coefficient of 6, है ना? 6 multiplied by 2 will become 12. Now try to see oxygen, hydrogen भी हो गया, phosphorus is done. 10 plus 6, 16 oxygen on left, 4 multiplied by 4, 16 on the right. Equation is already balanced, isn't it? So that's simple, easy peasy. Hit and trial is easy. Okay, so you have to do a lot of practice basically, right? The next is how to represent a chemical equation. So we have seen with the symbols and formula. How can we make the equation more informative? Is it a way that we can make the reaction informative? Yes, definitely. The one thing that we can use is to mention the physical state of the reactants and products along with them, so that when you go in the chemistry lab, you want to perform this reaction, you would be knowing that okay, I need to take this element in this state. Like zinc is combining with chlorine to give zinc chloride. So if you know zinc has to be taken in solid state, chlorine is a gas. This is how, these are the state of the substances. So reaction is becoming informative. You can do the reaction practically also. So solid is represented by S in brackets small s, liquid by L, gas by small g, and any aqueous solution by AQ. Okay, and this aqueous solution means solution of something in water. Solution in water. And if you want to know some tips for knowing the state, generally metals are found in the solid state. Like you will see zinc is there, iron is there, isn't it? Sodium is there, magnesium is there, calcium is there. You see metals exist in the solid state, but we have an exception of mercury. Mercury is a liquid metal. Right guys? Then we are having the trick with the non-metals. Non-metals you will see either they exist as gases. ठीक है, जैसे you have seen hydrogen is a gas, chlorine is there, isn't it? You can see oxygen, nitrogen, etc. So they are non-metals. Okay, some of them can also exist in the solid state. जैसे carbon है, phosphorus है, sulfur is there, isn't it? Iodine is there. So they exist in the solid state, right? We have bromine as an exception. Bromine is a liquid non-metal. It is a liquid non-metal. Okay. Then we are having और भी चीजें होती है, जैसे if you will see metal oxides. Metal oxides are seen in the solid state. Okay, they are generally found in solid state. Similarly, we have tricks for the salt also. I will tell you after some time. Salt भी आप देख सकते हो. You can identify the state also. Okay, just the same way. I will give you tips around that as well. Okay, so another way of making the reaction more informative is by mentioning the temperature, pressure and catalyst etc. For example, देखो, this reaction is taking place in the presence of manganese dioxide. So you are representing it as a catalyst. Okay, so in the presence of MnO2, the reaction speed is going to increase, so it would be taking place much faster. So catalyst is a substance that can increase the rate of your reaction. It can increase the speed of the reaction basically. Okay, so that you can represent above or below the temperature, above or below the arrow. Let's say reaction takes place at particular temperature or pressure, that also you can mention there. Okay, a simple way of making it more informative. The next thing is the types of reactions. So these are some simple basic type of reactions that we cover in the chapter. So we would be seeing them one by one. Okay, so please pay attention. The first is a combination reaction, also known as synthesis reaction. Okay, so what happens in this reaction? Two or more than two substances combines to give you a single product. Right, for example, they are saying you have calcium, one substance combines with oxygen to give calcium oxide, a single substance. Right, another way, you can take calcium oxide, dissolve it in water, two substances combine to give you a single product. We are not focusing on balancing right now. Burning of magnesium, magnesium combines with oxygen to give magnesium oxide. Two substances react to give a single product. So all this is your combination reaction, or you can say the synthesis reaction. Okay, and generally remember that combination reactions, they are exothermic in nature, most of them. Okay, why exothermic? Because they release the heat energy. Right, so there is a loss of heat energy that you will see. ये वाली जो reaction है, this, the formation of slaked lime, this is highly exothermic. When you burn a magnesium ribbon, you get a lot of heat energy. Okay, the next we are having the decomposition reaction. This is opposite of the combination. So in decomposition, one substance is going to break down to give you two or more than two substances. Okay, and these decomposition reactions, either they are accompanied by heat. If they take place in the presence of heat, they are thermal decomposition. Yes, either they can take place in the presence of electricity, they would be known as electrolytic decomposition, or in the presence of light, then they would be defined as photolytic decomposition. Okay, photolytic decomposition. So very important reactions we have done here. जैसे देखो, if we talk about calcium carbonate solid, okay, if you are going to heat calcium carbonate, it will absorb the heat energy and break itself down to give you calcium oxide along with the evolution of the CO2 gas. Just like that, if you take lead nitrate solid, अगर आप उसे हीट करोगे, then it would be giving you lead oxide, that is a yellow solid. Apart from that, brown fumes of NO2 and oxygen gas. Yes, okay. Similarly, ferrous sulfate sorry, when you heat ferrous sulfate crystals, first they lose their water of crystallization, okay, will be becoming dull white, FeSO4. When you further heat this FeSO4, that is dull white, it will break down to give you brown color of ferric oxide. Apart from that, very bad smelling gases, burning sulfur smell, sulfur dioxide trioxide. So color changes from pale green to the reddish brown, isn't it? Similarly, you are having in the presence of light में आप water को ले सकते हो. When you pass electricity through water, it breaks down to give you hydrogen and oxygen. So that is electrolytic decomposition. Yeah. Similarly, you can go with silver bromide. If you keep silver bromide in sunlight for some time, then what will happen? Bromine will be released out, and we would be left behind with the grey color of the silver. So this reaction was used in black and white photography as well. isn't it? So these are some of the reactions that you need to remember about the decomposition reaction, and they are generally endothermic in nature. Absorption of heat is going to take place. Okay, so this is endothermic reaction. Endo means absorb and therm means heat. So there would be absorption of heat energy over here, right? So we have discussed that decomposition reactions fall in the category. You have photosynthesis. The plants are absorbing the solar energy and making their food. So absorption हुआ है, that is endothermic. Okay, simple है. Then we have exothermic. Exothermic में release of heat energy would be there. As I was saying, most of the combination fall into it. Exo means release and therm means heat. One very famous example जो यहाँ पर आएगा, that is composting. Okay, composting is your decomposition of the vegetable matter, organic matter का decomposition, that is an exothermic reaction. Okay, remember these reactions, and the same they can also apply in the processes. Exo and endo process is also possible, है ना? What is the difference between process and a reaction? Beta, process can also be a physical change, but a reaction is always a chemical change, isn't it? For example, whenever you have solid to liquid, liquid to gas, solid to gas ka conversion, they are always accompanied by absorption of heat. So these processes are endothermic process. But reverse of that, gas to liquid, liquid to solid, gas to solid, they are accompanied by loss of heat. Okay, so they are exothermic changes. Fine, इसको ध्यान रखना, easy है. The next we have is the displacement reaction, not difficult at all. So what happens in our displacement reaction? The name is saying we are going to displace something. So in these reactions, a more reactive element displaces the less reactive element. Okay, from its salt solution. या आप बोल सकते हो this takes place between a metal and a metal salt. Metal का solution के साथ होता है. If the metal is more reactive than another metal, it is going to displace that and will be combining with its anion. It will come in the solution. Right, for example, if you take iron nails, you dip them in the copper sulfate solution. Okay, iron nails you dip in the copper sulfate solution, then what is going to happen? Copper sulfate is blue in color and iron nail is also silvery grayish in color, but after some time, after 1 to 2 hours, if you check, you will see the blue color is now pale green. Why is that so? Because iron is more reactive than copper. More reactive iron displaces less reactive copper. Copper is brown in color. It will go and deposit on the iron nail. है ना? And solution में comes the ferrous ions. We will get ferrous sulfate now. Okay, so remember the reactivity series जो मैम ने बताया था. Again telling you, please stop calling me a zebra. Please stop calling me a zebra. I like her calling me smart girl. AU in the end. Okay, so you can do this easily, guys. Yes or no? Yes. है ना? So last में लिख लेते हैं AU. Finally, please stop calling me a zebra. I like her calling me smart girl. Okay, so this is the decreasing order of reactivity. Top to bottom, reactivity is decreasing. So if you do the other way round, if you take copper nail in ferrous sulfate solution, there is going to be no reaction. Less reactive element cannot displace more reactive element from its solution. Okay. सिंपल एंड डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शंस हो सकते हैं आराम से. देन वी हैव डी रिएक्शन. Double displacement reaction में there would be exchange of ions that is going to take place among the reactants. Okay, reactants are like we are fed up with our ions, we want to exchange the ions. Yes, it's important. You can see this reaction कर सकते हो easily. Yes, okay, देखो we will do this reaction. एक simple आप acid base ले लो. You are having an acid and you make it react with the basic solution. Then acid and base we know give salt and water. So H plus ions of acid combines with OH ions from the base and gives us water. Sodium ions of base, chloride of acid give us salt. है ना? So what is this? Acid and base give salt and water. So this is something that we can say is a DD reaction. Double displacement reaction. Okay, exchange of ions among the reactants is going to take place. Simple, easy peasy. Similarly, so neutralization reactions are a type of DD reaction. Okay, and another one, precipitation reactions are also a type of DD reaction. Yes, but बता सकते हो आप. If you are going to take, have you like, do you remember lead nitrate wala reaction? If you take lead nitrate aqueous solution and you make it react with potassium iodide, so here also exchange of ions hone wala hai. Lead ions combined with iodide and give us lead iodide. Apart from that, potassium ions combine with nitrate to give potassium nitrate. So in this reaction, you know, lead iodide will be precipitated out. It is water insoluble. Okay, so it will precipitate out. It's a yellow PPT that will be formed. So you mix the two aqueous solution, you will see there is a yellow precipitate of lead iodide at the bottom. Okay, so when insoluble solid is formed in the reaction, that is a type of DD reaction. Okay, so that would be, you can say, DD reaction. Precipitation is also DD reaction. One of the, so we have written one of the example. Another example here, देखो, silver nitrate potassium chloride. Exchange of ions होगा, silver chloride and potassium nitrate would be there. Silver chloride is white precipitate. Okay, it does not dissolve in water, it is a precipitate. Right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah? Then we are having the redox reactions. Redox reactions में आपको क्या करना है? That is also, sorry, very simple. Red means reduction. Ox means oxidation. So reactions where reduction and oxidation is going to take place simultaneously. Yeah, simultaneously, or you can say together. Both reduction and oxidation in the same reaction. Do you remember reduction and oxidation? Ma'am याद दिला देती है. देखो. So how do we define oxidation reaction? Simply addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. Okay, and how do we define reduction reactions? Opposite of oxidation, loss of oxygen or gain of hydrogen. This is an old approach. In terms of electrons, oxidation is loss of electrons, right? And reduction is gain of electrons. Reduction is going to be gain of electrons, right? So if you see over here, iron oxide is converted to iron, है ना? So in this reaction, what is happening? If you compare Fe2O3, the iron oxide is converted to Fe, iron. Loss of oxygen is taking place. That means reduction happened. And CO is converted to CO2. One oxygen का gain हुआ, है ना? Gain of oxygen, oxidation. So we can see both reduction oxidation in the same reaction. It is a redox reaction. And agents कैसे identify करोगे? The species that is reduced. You can see iron oxide is reduced in the reaction. So it will be the oxidizing agent. Why? Because it is helping carbon monoxide to get oxidized by donating its oxygen. Similarly, carbon monoxide is getting oxidized here. Okay, that species which is oxidized will be the reducing agent, because it is helping iron oxide to get reduced by taking away its oxygen. Right? A simple approach of defining the redox reaction. So I guess you are very much clear with it. Yes or no? Yes, ma'am. Easy peasy. So tell me in the comment section, how can we give an example in terms of electrons to define the redox reaction? Then we have oxidation taking place in our daily life. Yes, talking about the food, whenever you have your you can say the food which is having oil in it, oily or fatty food, you know, when it is exposed to air, then oxygen is going to attack on your food. Oxygen is like, you know, very foodie gas. Oxygen, like, I will attack on food every time. So it is going to oxidize your food and will be giving it a very bad smell, odor and taste. The souring will happen. So this spoiling of oily and fatty food because of oxygen attack is known as rancidity. Okay, then we are having another example of corrosion also. So this corrosion is again destruction of your metal, and one very important thing that happens here is oxidation. Just say you have seen iron nails. So when iron nails are attacked by air say particularly oxygen and moisture, the iron is oxidized to form hydrated iron oxide. Okay, so you can say iron converted to Fe2O3 dot water. So this is oxidation that is happening. Because of that, we get this brown color ka layer on, flaky layer on iron, that is rust, and it takes away the strength of iron, है ना, tensile strength चला जाता है, it becomes weak also. So we have to do a lot of techniques to prevent the iron from getting corroded. The same happens with some another, you know, elements also, like silver. Silver can also give silver sulfide, that's black in color. Copper forms basic copper carbonates on getting corrosion, that is of green color. Statue of Liberty is the example, right? So we have quickly revised the chapter, not in very much detail because it was a, you know, basic one shot session. We have done the chapter in detail in all our sessions. Kindly do attend that if you want to do every topic in detail. Okay, so all this we have discussed, and now I would just tell you, if you have attended this class, there would be a quiz link given in the description box. So do find it and attempt that quiz. Okay, important. Now another thing ma'am wants to share with all of you is that enrollment for 1 year batch of Vedantu is open. Okay, so Vedantu 1 year courses are available now. So that is the AI live batch. Okay, so in the AI live batches, the master teachers will not be live. Okay, but there would be a lot other elements that would be live in the session. Okay, like the quizzes, the hotspot, the leaderboards, everything would be live. Class teachers would be live, they will take your in class doubts. Okay, live doubts, they would be resolved. Apart from that, you would be getting the quiz. Okay, quiz ke baad you will get the session notes also. All India test series. Yes, so you would be competing with students all over the India. Okay, for the entire academic year, you will be knowing your competition, what are my strengths and areas of improvement, that all would be there. Assignments and class notes would be shared with you. Okay, and study material, yes, handwritten notes by the teachers you would be getting. So all that, crash course session, midterm revision sessions, end term revision, you get all of that. Plus this is for how many subjects? Physics, chemistry, biology, maths, English and social. So it's a complete package. Vedantu will make you prepare for like 6 sessions, 6 subjects. Wow. And at such an affordable price, that is 9,000 rupees for 1 year. Don't worry beta, this is for 1 year, है ना, this is not 1 month that ma'am is saying. And इसमें भी if you apply Shilpi ma'am's coupon code, that is SKA Pro, Shilpi Kaushik Army Pro, you will be getting discount and your price comes down to 8100 rupees. For entire 1 year you would be getting the YouTube master teachers also. So make sure that you apply ma'am's coupon code. Where will you get the link is given in the description box of the video, so open that link, okay, and simply grab a seat. The new batch is starting from 20th of June and the seats are getting filled up very fast because it's just less than 100 students in a batch, right? So that gives you kind of atmosphere. Personalized attention hoga, your personalized report cards you get in the session, milestones are there, speed, accuracy, analysis, everything is there, subjective questions are there, approach is there to solve the question, practice sessions are there, okay. So each and everything you would be getting there, so grab it ASAP, okay. Thank you so much for attending the session, and remember ma'am has given you one homework question. You have to give me one example where the oxidation is defined in terms of electrons, okay, and reduction also. So give me one example. That is all for today's session, a quick revision of the chapter. I'll see you next time. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, okay. See ya, bye bye.